Thank you all for making this event possible. We'll now have a short roundtables where everyone can give us their welcoming message and some information. I will start with Mr. Martinot, Director of the President's Cabinet of Université de Lyon. Why did the Université de Lyon bid to organize this web conference a second time, and what are your ambitions for this event?
Hello everybody, thank you for having us and being there with us. It's a great pleasure for me, in the name of the President of Université of Lyon, to welcome you here. As you said, as the second largest scientific center in France, the University of Lyon plays an important role in promoting and developing the strong potential for scientific research for the Lyon-Saint-Étienne area. It contributes to the development of major research, especially in the field of the web. And some of you may remember that University of Lyon introduced many innovations in the last edition in 2012. And that's why the IWW3C2 has kindly decided to entrust us once again, and I want to thank them for their trust. We have expanded the base of participants beyond researchers and have launched the new identity of the web conference. Another important point for our commitment and our candidacy was also the very strong support we have with our partners, the local governments in the region and the Grand Lyon, which I want to thank very, very much. This conference offers a rich and top-level scientific research program, more accessible tracks and contents to attract all key actors in the digital sector, including entrepreneurs, which is very important for us. Obviously, the objective is to drive and encourage interaction between all these different actors. So today, we are delighted to welcome more than 2,000 participants from over 60 countries. And we will mobilize at least as many people in the off events before and after the web conference as in during the conference.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Baudry, General Manager of Digital League. You are the CEO of Digital League. Can you please briefly introduce Digital League, the cluster, and why you had this somehow crazy idea of being the co-organizer of the web conference with Université de Lyon?
Thank you. Yeah, you're right. It was somehow, crazy, but we are really happy to be part of it. I think we are really hooked with the WebConf now. We are definitely huge supporters. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words about Digital League, briefly, quickly. We are a non-for-profit, membership-based organization gathering the digital industry here in the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region. This cluster is led by private entrepreneurs, but also by research labs, schools, and universities. And we are strongly supported, backed by the local authority, public authorities here at both regional and local level. We share the same goals of developing the economy and ultimately creating jobs. So today we have 500 members, ranging from SMEs to large companies, representing about 26,000 jobs in the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region. And so we are somehow proud to be considered as the leading digital cluster in France today. So this is for introducing the cluster. And to answer more precisely to your question about why joining the organization along with the university. Well, actually, we thought it was a great opportunity to help bringing this world-class conference as near as possible to our members, which is obviously a big opportunity for them. So we did that for our own interest, I would say, the interest of our members. But I think there is also more to it. I think it's also about sharing a passion for technology and innovation. So we see all these bright people coming from all over the world here in Lyon. So maybe we are a little crazy, but obviously we're not the only ones, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Karine Dognin-Sauze, Vice President for Digital Affairs of Lyon Metropole. This is the second time in less than 10 years that the web conference comes to Lyon. How would you explain the attachment of the web conference to the city of Lyon?
I cannot really tell how the organizers are attached to Lyon, but what I can tell is that we are incredibly proud to see that for the first time ever, this web conference is twice in the same city, and it's in our city. I have to say that above the remarkable work that the University of Lyon make to ensure that this conference is a success, it sounds for us like a signal to encourage us in our path, to foster again the contribution of our local innovative ecosystem to the global transformation that is driven today, mainly by, obviously, internet and what we call now the next industrial revolution. You know, there is like a very special link between the web conference and the way we have over here brought digital and web technology to the heart of our action for economic development and also our urban transformation, especially these last 5 years. 2012 has been like a kickoff of a momentum that has driven our city as being the second digital clusters today. And Lyon has become the top destination for digital innovation, but also for innovation driven by digital, thanks to a massive amount of new company that has been created in very specific segments, from web to technology, software, as we mentioned just now, and digital content. And this entrepreneurship fever has added like a layer to this academia force to form this incredible local ecosystem recently granted by the French Tech label. Most important for us today is that this critical mass of expertise in this diverse area strongly contribute to something that is bigger, which is the transformation of our industry and local economy as a whole, and also our city. For example, for the next-gen manufacturing, the factory of tomorrow, we also think that probably where there can be the most important progress is in health, where Lyon has major assets. And also for us, digital revolution is an extraordinary opportunity to build up the city of tomorrow, which we intensively, are active with more than 100 ongoing projects today to transform our city to what's next. 2018, when we look at the different, major questions that I raised during this conference, we can see how it resonates with our priorities, our three major priorities. Cybersecurity is a strategic challenge. For us, we recently created an European clusters in cybersecurity for industrial, system and urban system. Digital, we know, is now everywhere and is a question for everyone. And we're now in a phase where our local ecosystem is strongly enough to reach entrepreneurs for sure, researchers for sure, but also students, disabled people, and elderly. And we recently launched a special community regarding social robotics, which is very important for us, because innovation has also to serve in social inclusion. And the last point is obviously artificial intelligence, and we are taking, the opportunity of this conference to launch this new non-profit organization called Lyon is Artificial Intelligence, regrouping more than 200 stakeholders in this area to make sure that we are preparing the future. So 5 years later, what we can see, it's a giant step that has been done, and this conference highlights really how Lyon is now a strong destination for innovation, digital for sure, but also our research and the academic world is well connected to business, economy, to address this global challenge we are all facing for this future city.
Thank you very much. Now, Mrs. Juliette Jarry, Vice President for Digital Affairs for the region, for the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region. Well, As we said, it's the first time that the web conference comes twice in a city. I think even at the scale of the region, that's the first time. So why such a commitment of the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region into this partnership with the web conference?
Well, first of all, I wanted to tell you how delighted I am to welcome you all, personally, of course, and on behalf of the president of the region, Laurent Wauquiez. It's an honor and it's a pleasure, and you say it's the second time, and I think it's not by accident. I think that our territory is a perfect mix between a high level of education, we have 300,000 students, a high level of research with 2,600 patents a year, which is quite a lot, and we are also the first industrial fabric in France. And as you said, all this is combined with a high quality of life. So let me just mention the Mont Blanc whiskey stations, or as you said, Bocuse or cheese. And I think that some of you will want to come back again, and why not consider staying here? Because I think that we really have this global ecosystem that makes our territory so rich and so fruitful for collaborations.
Thank you. I will now go back to Mr. Martinot for Université de Lyon. How does organizing the web conference fit into the strategy of Université de Lyon?
Our strategy in Université de Lyon is strongly directed to develop the recognition and excellency of the academic forces here in Lyon and Saint-Étienne. So in 2017, we were happy to receive an award from the French government, recognized us as one of the 10 university center main university center in France. This is important not only because this means recognition, international and national, but also this means additional funding for our research teams, for our projects. Hosting such a great international conference, especially for the second time, bringing together top new technology experts, researchers, connecting startups, companies, public, as it was said by the colleague from Digital League, perfectly fits in the dynamics and deployment of our ambitious project. We are working, and our members are working to develop some highly efficient research teams and lab on digital topics, and many of them are present here or will be present during the talks, and it's very important for us. We also develop some special training, especially in digital. For example, we recently developed a new diploma on digital transformation for companies. So this is very important for us to implement this strategy and to give it a real basis. And to finish, the Webcom Lyon, the name of our off conference, which is naturally open to the general public, is also in line with our mission to promote links between the society and science.
Thank you very much. Mr. Daniel Baudry for Digital League. So as I mentioned, tomorrow you'll have your yearly event, Digital Summer, with a dedicated village in the exhibition space and 16 business-oriented conferences. So it's a little early for the summer. Why reschedule this event this year?
Yeah, it's a bit early, but you see that the weather is so fine, so it's almost summer. Actually, it's natural for us to link research and business development. So it's as I explained earlier, it's Digital League is made of researchers, labs, and also private businesses. So I think it was I wasn't here at the time they decided that, so I'm not responsible for it. But I think it was a no-brainer for them. It's such an amazing opportunity given to the local ecosystem to benefit from this high-level research and networking event. So we decided to bring our contribution. Okay, some of you know Maud Sharaf, she's from our team, And this is some kind of a contribution to the
She
conference.
was very active in
Yes.
2012, as many of you know.
But also we decided that moving our annual event and bringing it into the WebConf would be also an interesting contribution, bringing more private businesses. So we have on Thursday, you are invited to discover our digital summer village and meet with our members, companies, network with them, and also try and benefit from our summer feelings or prizes that we have prepared for you. So you are most welcome to join us on the digital summer space on tomorrow, on Thursday. And in the last weeks, I have seen some a raise in coffee consumption from my team. I have found some empty pizza boxes here and there, after late night at the office. So obviously, it's a big effort for us to move that event from June to April, but we think it's really worth it. And after some well-deserved rest, I'm pretty sure that my team will be okay to join in for a next European edition of the WebConf. That it must happen in Lyon for me. I'm not deciding anything, but I'm just suggesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Karine Dognin-Sauze, what are the main challenges that Lyon Metropole and yourself has set yourself, and how can web technologies help you tackle them?
So digital is an endless matter for research, as we can see during this conference and beyond. But for me, digital is also has to be considered as a political question. If we really want to generate a form of progress, we have to, at all levels, we have to answer to this very crucial question: how do we want to live with this technology? Where do we want to go with this range of new possibilities? And what is at stake for us is the future of our city, and beyond the future of cities in general. What is at stake is an evolving society, an enhanced environment for the community that matches with very diverse aspirations. That's also what is very important. We see how artificial intelligence is driving the future of auto industry. And we launched here the first worldwide experiment of a driverless shuttle in 2014 in an open and public environment, 3 years before testing this transportation service in the Lyon district confluence. That is at the other part of the city. I'm talking about Navia, obviously, for those who know. Artificial intelligence promises to make the generation, transmission, and the delivery of electricity much more efficient. It's a huge promise, and Lyon is the first European pole for the number of smart grid projects that has been deployed here at the European level. We'll also be in the city, the pilot city for the National Energy Box called Linky. Few examples to show how involved we are to these new possibilities, and our objective is to, above all that, to build a more human and a more sustainable city where the life is pleasant, an healthy, a balanced city, friendly to make business, to move differently, to work differently, to be well educated to this new emerging world, and to live differently. In few words, a lifestyle that is honed, and obviously the web and more generally digital is a fundamental tool in our efforts to achieve such an ambition.
Thank you very much. And to finish with this panel, Mrs. Juliette Jarry, you mentioned that the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region wants to be the Silicon Valley of Europe. As a VP for Digital Affairs, what is your vision about that future for the territory and maybe beyond?
You know, yesterday was the opening reception of the web conference at the regional hall, and we had the chance to welcome Dame Wendy Hall and Bibo White, and Bibo offered us a brilliant keynote, a tribute to the French Minitel. that was a kind of appetizer of what is going to happen those days. But what I want to say is that this tribute that he paid to the French innovation, actually in the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region, we want those things to become possible, to become worldwide. I mean, we had a great innovation, and in some way we did not manage to scale up or to spread this innovation over the world. So we think that today it's not only about saying that we want to be a European reference, it's about doing it. Obviously, digital offers many opportunities, but it depends on, I mean, the good project depends on how global is the approach. And this is the reason why we voted a strategic digital roadmap for the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region with 3 main axes. The first one is infrastructure, because we think that we absolutely need to have very high-speed broadband, both internet and mobile, to provide all the citizens and all the companies all over the territory. As Karine said, it's very important to have smart cities, but we are absolutely convinced that we don't want to have a 2-speed society. We don't have to be big smart cities and forgotten territories. So this is the reason why we need to have very high-speed broadband and infrastructure everywhere on the territory. The second axe of our digital roadmap is digital transformation. We want to provide all the companies in our territory, whatever their size is, whatever their activity is, with digital transformation support. And on this second axe, there is also one point which is very important to me, which is the basis of everything. It's training and education, both for students and for workers, because digital now is moving so fast. We need people to have a lifelong training programs. And the third axe of our digital roadmap is to handle our own digital transformation, because we can give advice to companies, but we need to be exemplar in what we do. So we are working to reduce red tape. We're working on digital citizenship, on e-administration. And I had the opportunity to discuss it with the president of Estonia a few days ago, and this is really a model for us. So we are really trying to make this vision as global as possible. But our role as a public body is to create the best conditions for people to live and to work on our territory, but then it's up to you to make it possible. So we're just working with everybody to make it possible.
Okay, thanks again to all our institutional partners and co-organizers. Thank you very much.